or girls are supposed to go in professions which are supposedly safe,
Yeah.
and armed forces is not safer, or
Broken through and survived through things that most people haven't been able to. And your body became your enemy at some point.
very much.
And you battled that.
That was more scary for me.
I don't know how much strength it's taken you to share this. One story, one downfall, one epic comeback. This is not a podcast. This is an uncancellation ritual because we don't believe in cancellation. Welcome to Cancelled to Crowned with Sohini. In today's episode, we have a wonderful guest who's a magical embodiment of beauty, strength, and grace. Her life has been an entire spectrum. Welcoming Major Prajakta. I feel so awestruck just saying that. I mean, you are such a beautiful combination of beauty, grace, strength, resilience, all of it. You just cover like the whole spectrum. And even your life journey, it's been such a ride. Hell, heaven, all of it. And I can't thank you enough for agreeing to come on this show and sharing yourself with us, your experiences, your life's journey. And we'll get into all of that. But first, I want to talk to that little girl who grew up in a chawl in Mumbai. How did she drive you to become the person you've become?
First of all, thank you so much, Sohini. You've been really kind with all the adjectives, the lovely ones that you've used for me. I feel really humble listening to you. If I have to talk about my journey, as you rightly brought out, I come from a proper Marathi family. I have grown up in a chawl in Lalbagh. And from there, my journey to get into the armed forces, I would not say that was completely full of struggles, but yes, I had my share. And the biggest credit here, goes to my parents who told that little girl that nothing is impossible. I'm born in the late 80s, and I'm sure then it was not so conventional for women to break stereotypes.
Yes.
To go in professions which are then known as, male dominated, if I can put it that way. But when I grew up, my parents absolutely brought me up completely different. They never discriminated between the genders, between me and my brother, though my brother is younger and then again a sister. But there was no discrimination. I'll tell you a time when I wanted to go down and play along with the boys or the girls. My grandmother, for that matter, she always told me, you should not wear a skirt and go. Well, be well dressed, wear shorts, wear a t-shirt, be comfortable and go. Do not be, cause inconvenience for yourself and others. You should dress properly if you want to play with the boys.
Wow.
So that was her vision back then, early 90s.
Incredible.
Yeah.
So broad minded.
Yeah, very much, very much. And then, in Mumbai, we have Ganesh Chaturthi,
Yes.
then Dahi Handi,
Yes.
where you have to, climb on each other, the proper Dahi Handi which
Yes.
takes place. Yes. It was obviously a man's game or something that the boys would do. But my father would take me, trust me, I was so scared then. But my father would take me along and he would tell me, Chalo, koi nahi, go with your cousin, you can sit on his shoulders. Yes, and break the Dahi Handi. Trust me, Sohini, I was so scared as a child. I was like, no, I can't do this. And I used to keep hiding behind my mother. But probably the push that my parents gave me then is, I think, what made me what I am today. Obviously, people always tell you, you are supposed to fit in kind of a mold, or girls are supposed to go in professions which are supposedly safe.
Yeah.
And armed forces is not safer, or people would tell my parents that लड़की शाम को घर नहीं आएगी, ये 2000-3000 किलोमीटर दूर होगी आपसे, आप कैसे मैनेज करोगे. But these two guys, my parents, always supported me. They told me, whatever profession you want to get into, we are always backing you. And I think there my journey began, when they say that, the seeds are sown very early in somebody's life
Yeah.
for you to prosper and bloom. I think the biggest, credit goes to my parents. Yeah.
Wow. I love that. Parents play such a vital role in
Absolutely.
helping us build our foundations and find who we truly are.
Yes.
And they helped you find the warrior in you,
And my purpose in life.
your purpose in life. So beautiful. Actually, I have something very, very similar to your experience. I grew up in a building and I used to stammer and I was very, very shy and very badly bullied as a kid. So I struggled with making relationships. The only friends I had was in front of my home that there was a little chawl. And I used to play kabaddi with a bunch of boys.
Wow.
They were my friends. And I learned in that experience that anything and everything is possible. You don't have to fit into the mold.
True.
You can find your strength and learn from all our experiences. So I'm so glad you shared that.
If I
Because-
may, Sohini, when you spoke about kabaddi, it just strike me.
Yeah.
My parents were sports person.
Oh,
So they
okay.
met also during their kabaddi matches at state level competition. Yeah, that's how probably, when you play sports, you have a kind of a broader mindset in life. You build a lot of sportsmanship. I think that is what was there in them, that they wanted to do a certain kind of parenting for their children. And that's what happened. And another thing that, which is very important for this podcast is, people say that if you come from a certain place, you can't get to, another world. Or if you are here somewhere in your life, it's very difficult for you to rise here. That's what people have an idea of.
Yeah.
When you maybe come from a chawl, or maybe you come from a place where English is not predominantly used.
Yes.
I have seen so many students these days, or even early corporate employees, where they say that I came from such a specific place and people were not expecting me to rise this high. So I think that also sometimes fuels your ambition, that, okay, are you trying to challenge me? Are you trying to say underestimating me? I'll definitely do that in my life and, show the world. I think that also kind of fuels your desire to go ahead and do something different and tell the world that where you come from, the start of society where you come from doesn't make a difference. You have the will and the determination.
Yes.
You will definitely go and rise and actually build your own space in the world.
Yes, yes. That's a beautiful mindset. Prajakta, you have like the superpower of shape shifting. You've just shape shifted into all these different molds that you have created for yourself. You've not agreed to the roles that were given to you by society. Be feminine, be delicate. If you're in the army, you can't be beautiful and elegant and graceful. And you are all of that. You've like been who you are, completely owned this authenticity. And you have not only shape shifted because you have wanted it, you've also shape shifted to what life has forced you to adjust to.
True.
Your journey has been difficult. How does it feel to hold this kind of power?
Again, I would take you back to my childhood. I didn't have that kind of a strong childhood. My parents did have kind of financial struggles. I would not dwell more upon it, because mostly, one, people do not understand it. They think it's a very common thing to speak about, but that was so true back then. Not everybody came from a very powerful financial status. And because of that, I understood my responsibility very early in life, Sohini, very early. I remember when I was in standard 8th, I would give tuitions to kids who were in nursery or, LKG, UKG. I would give them tuitions, charge a little amount of money, and almost 90% of that would go to my mother. I don't know, if I look back now, I would literally commend that child, that at that early age, when responsibility are put on your shoulders that early, or even when you assume those kind of responsibilities, you realize that there's no way you're looking back. You have to move and propel forward. You just cannot step back and say, I can't do it. So there's no option of giving up. And that actually beautifully shaped one biggest characteristic of mine is, I never give up. sometimes I feel I'm a little crooked, I'm headstrong, but I think that beautiful quality of being headstrong and not giving up made me move ahead and adapt to everything that came forward. Definitely getting into the army is very difficult, the examination, the selection procedure. And even if that is done, when you enter as a civilian and when they shape you for 1 year and they push you out as an officer, that is the toughest time in any, I would, trainee officer's life. So all these things were possible only because I had a main thing in my head is that life hasn't been so kind with us, my family. So if I have to break this kind of, I wouldn't say generational curse or something, but it's kind of a cycle when things keep on going wrong. So there should be someone who puts a spoke in it and says, no, here it has to stop.
You're
And
right.
from here,
You
it
break
is,
that pattern.
yes, break the pattern. And
Yeah.
from here, I have to rise high. So, because if I would do things correctly, that would shape my
Yes.
siblings' future as well.
How amazing.
So I did that. And another important thing which I always feel is you get this life once. So as you said, that people think when you're in the armed forces, you cannot look glamorous. Many of the time when people look at me, they ask me, you're so tiny. Are you even, were you even a part of army aviation? Were you with helicopters? So people literally ask me that. So, that stereotyping of
Yeah.
thing that women in the
Yeah.
army should be tall, rugged, and not look delicate. I think that's what a lot of people think. So I feel in life you should try each and everything that comes your way.
Yeah.
And I have this crazy thing for try every damn thing in my life, because of which I learned even 6 adventure sports.
Which ones?
I've learned skydiving, microlight flying, hot air ballooning. Then I did mountaineering.
Oh my God.
I learned a little bit of scuba, not much. I'm yet to complete it. So I did all of these
I
things.
haven't even done one of them.
And trust me, Sohini, I'm not a child who was very bold in life. Life made me bold because yes, there's no other option than being bold and moving forward. So I said, why not utilize this and keep on learning and keep on, not being stagnant in one
Yeah.
place. So that's how I kept moving forward. So if this thing is done, okay, check. Now what to do next? So I
you
kept
keep
moving
going.
forward.
You keep going.
Yes.
I love how you spoke about breaking generational patterns. In my book, I talk about the heirloom of generational trauma. I call it the heirloom because, we get all these diamonds and jewelry. This is an heirloom.
Yes.
And this is that. But we also get the heirloom of trauma and unhealthy patterns and beliefs that we keep carrying forward. And somebody has got to put a stop to it. So that's commendable. And that I find is one of the most difficult things to do. So congratulations on breaking such a difficult pattern that's been coming down through generations.
Or else I think if there's no one person who steps up and does it,
Yeah.
it will continue.
Yeah.
I mean, if that person has the capability to stand tall
Yeah.
like a wall and
Yeah.
defend every damn thing that comes upon you, so that at least the two young kids who were after me can have a better life, why not? Like,
Yeah.
I was crazy to learn swimming when I was in college, or maybe tennis, but father couldn't afford it. So I said, okay, fine, nothing doing. I'll do it when I start earning. But the time I had money in my hand, I literally pushed my siblings. They were like, they're like little lazy ones. They're like, why are you doing this with us? I said, no. You guys are going for swimming. You guys are going for trekking. You guys are going to do this. And probably I even spoiled them a little by giving whatever they wanted.
So sweet.
I was like maybe a second mother to my siblings, because if not me, then who?
So defense was in your blood even as a child. You were
Maybe.
defending your family.
Yes, my siblings especially.
Yeah.
So they
and
could have
also
better
being
life.
so soft and being so warm and gentle towards them and allowing them to be spoiled and live freely. How amazing. What would you like to say to the small Prajaktas growing up in a chawl or today, or anybody who feels like their dreams are unreachable?
Especially the Prajakta who was the tiny one, having bigger dreams in life, that continue the struggle that you are doing, because someday it's going to reap all the benefits. So today, if I look back and I see if I would have done anything differently, I don't think so. Because if that situation wouldn't have occurred, it wouldn't have made me that tough to take on certain tasks in life. And especially any girl who comes from a small place, your place is not going to define your identity. Identity is what you make.
Yeah.
Trust me, there was a time when I even wore clothes which were given off by my cousins or some neighbors. And I knew only one thing in mind: this is what I'm going to break. Today, okay, fine, this is my situation. So, whoever is around or whoever is having a tough time today, that's the situation, accept it for the time being. Acceptance is the first
Yeah.
key to making any changes in your life. And the second thing, if that triggers you or that is something that is not you, or puts a question mark on your identity, you need to break the damn thing.
Yeah.
Break it so hard that it doesn't have an existence later on and takes you altogether different world, like moving out of a cocoon and flying out like a butterfly.
Yeah. Or flying planes like you did.
Little
Right.
bit, yes, I
Yeah.
do. But Sohini, I would love to mention this, when I was in school. So as we were talking offline, um, I started my journey in a English medium schools where, speaking English is not sometimes that much mandatory
Yeah.
because you have people from all over the place. A little bit of Marathi, Hindi also works. But I joined a convent school in standard 5th. There it got very difficult for me because my parents have did their schooling and college in Marathi, from a Marathi medium. So speaking English was not something very common in my house. So initially I had no friends from standard 5th to standard 7th, I would say. 2 years, 2.5 years, I didn't have friends. Why? Because I couldn't converse in English with them. I
Okay.
couldn't
Wow.
communicate well.
That must have been so lonely.
Yes, it was because the breaks that we have, the lunch break, the recess, I would completely sit alone on the stairs thinking that how do I go and approach, for example, Sohini and ask her to be friends with me? Because language was the biggest barrier for me.
Yeah.
I tried my best. You know, some appreciated me, some did not. That's okay. I don't judge anyone today because then we all were children.
Yeah.
Nobody understand. It's the parents who are supposed to make them learn it. So
Yeah.
no blames to anyone, but yes, that gave me an idea that if you want to survive in this world, you need to be like them. You cannot just say, hi Sohini, come and become my friend. That will not work. You need to change that. And trust me, I would just keep my ears open, eyes open, be aware, and keep listening to all the girls who used to keep talking in English. And whatever words I picked up, I would go home, tell it to my father or my mother the whole day. I would keep yapping that tiny word which I have learned and keep running in my entire building, telling people this is what I have learned. And that thing carried on till standard 7th, wherein I picked up the language good enough that I could make friends and converse. So all the children, today we have so many children talking about anxiety, depression.
Yeah.
I think all these things existed back then as well.
Yeah.
But probably it wasn't normalized or it did not have that much amount of awareness.
Yeah.
But today I want to tell those children that yes, life is, not fair. Such things will keep happening. All you have to do is just try to overcome it. It took me 2.5 years to learn the language. And I still remember incident when probably a girl told me, stop interfering, you're irritating me. So that didn't hurt me at all because I didn't
You didn't
understand
understand.
the
Oh my
meaning in first
God.
place.
I don't know if it's sweet or heartbreaking.
So I was like, oh wow, I learned two different words. I know the person's name also. I would not mention her. She's a real sweet person. And I was like, okay, irritate and interfere. What the hell is this? So I went home. I told my father, this is what I've learned today. Then I asked some girl, I don't remember who, but I asked her, what's the meaning of this? Then she explained it to me. She's like, oh, so that means you've stepped a line and you've troubled somebody. I said, fine. I went back home. I said, irritating and interfere, irritating and interfere. Whole day I did that, trust me, Sohini. And that's how it built my vocabulary today. So I think when we are children, we do not have that much kind of, pressure of the outside world. We are so full of potential. All the kids even today, they're so much full of potential that if they channelize their energy right, irrespective of the world, we're finding them irritating or, interfering.
Interfering.
They can actually go ahead and make up their own life,
Yeah, look at you today.
Yeah, now I speak better English.
Your English is outstanding. You're
Oh,
so
thank you.
articulate. So the interfering and irritating girl today is happily interfering in every roadblock that's coming her way.
Yes.
She's just changed her script, right?
Yeah. It takes, I think, just 365 days to change your narrative in your life. I might be facing something today, but be rest assured, just 365 days, your life will be changing if you actually take control of the situation and work on it.
And what is that in a whole lifespan, right?
Absolutely, just a year.
Yeah.
So things will change for all those who are suffering from anything mental stress, pain, strained relationships. It just takes 365 days to change your own narrative. And all you have to do is take control of the situation.
And focus.
Yes.
Wow. Thank you for that. It's something I probably needed to hear right now. So thank you for sharing. You are also someone who has broken through and survived through things that most people haven't been able to. And your body became your enemy at some point.
Very much.
And you battled that. How did you go through that experience? I mean, did you surrender to your illness that gave you the power to do what you required to do? I don't know. Can you help us through this whole experience of yours and tell us how you felt and what you went through?
So to be very honest with you, this is 2025, but I had been battling something since 2021. Until date, some or the other thing keeps happening. So it's like 4 long years. I had been in the military for 11 years. And then fitness is your second nature there.
Yeah.
You have to keep yourself extremely fit. I remember we used to run 40 kilometers with a battle load of 17 kilos, along with a rifle, which is 3 kilos, wearing all the uniform and all. We've ran 40 kilometers. So having that kind of a strength, and then coming to a place when my husband or my brother would lift me up and take me to the washroom. I mean, when I saw that, trust me, Sohini, my, I would say, look at the Zamir, wo toot gaya tha. Because I was so independent. And, there's some kind of a ego. I'm accepting that here. Ego you have when you are at your fittest. Your body is at the fittest. You are independent financially, physically, mentally. And all of a sudden, when things change, that is the time you realize, that God sitting up there, He's the one who's having the strings of your life. So, it's like never be so proud and never be so egoistic that nothing's going to happen to me. Because I was always of the opinion I'm very fit and things are not going to touch me even. So, but after I left the military and we were trying for conceiving, trying for a baby. Uh, it turned out to be a tumor. It was definitely a benign tumor in my uterus, but it turned to be a tumor. So rather than, those seeing the zygote, they saw that it was kind of a mass which was developing. So initially, they couldn't see because probably the entire uterus was clouded or something. So they kept me waiting. Then they injected me, said maybe, sometimes you need kind of external support for the baby to grow and all. And I think after a month or so, one day the gynac, she says that, oh, it's a tumor that you have, but don't worry, it's a benign tumor. But the fact that it's a tumor did scare me.
Of course.
So they said you would have to have a surgery for it. I said, fine, okay. I flew back to Mumbai. I had the surgery done, everything. I flew back home, like where we was posted earlier. And then within 2 weeks, it started again growing exponentially. And a day came when I was continuously bleeding. And that was the day I was telling my husband, nothing is happening. I'm all okay. He's like, no, you're not okay. So immediately some injections were given to me. We flew the next day and I was told that now you would have to undergo chemotherapy. Though it is not a cancerous tumor, but it is benign. But the solution here is that you have to go a low risk chemo. Trust me, Sohini, today if I look back, you ask me, can you go through that treatment again? Yes, I can.
I really hope you don't
honestly.
have to ever go through
Yeah.
it.
But if a time comes that I have to go through it, I can do it. That was okay. Because what I saw in Tata Memorial Hospital, apart from me being a patient there, all the children who were suffering from cancer, the elderly, I said, Mera to dukh kuch hai hi nahi. It's nothing. I used to sit for 15 minutes, not even 15, I think 5 to 10 minutes with the nurses. They would inject every alternate day the injections. And my mother would come with me. And Tata Memorial Hospital, I must say it over here on your podcast. I mean, thanks to the Tata Group, they have created actually, it is like heaven on earth. I would honestly tell you the procedures that they have, the oncologist over there, the system, it's so much in place that a person who doesn't even have, some kind of resources can go and take treatment over there. So whenever I used to wait in the queue for my injection, though you're a private patient, paying lump sum, you would have to be in a queue. That really humbles you down.
Yeah.
Literally humbles you
I
down.
used to take my grandmom.
You have money, it doesn't matter. You are a patient, you would have to stand.
You are a
in queue.
human.
You're a human there.
And all of us are equal while we stand
Absolutely.
there.
I think each one of us is equal in the eyes of God, in the eyes of doctors.
Absolutely.
And when life throws such things at you, there's no Amir, Garib, or Prime Minister of the country, or a personal rule. Nothing. Life levels you out there, and it did level me out there. I would go with my mom, and then I used to not feel anything, I used to feel it going inside. But when I used to go home, because I stay very nearby, just 2-3 minutes by cab or by car. And then the way my body used to react. And they happened to give me a higher dose. The oncologist said, you're quite fit, you'll take it. So happened to give me a higher dose, thinking my body would take it. And it turned toxic. So my liver had swollen. I couldn't get up. The pain was so bad that I would literally hold myself here or here like this and keep walking. And actually, doing daily chores was also very difficult. Unfortunately, that time my husband couldn't be there. He had to go on duty back. So I was at my maternal home. My mom, my brother, they used to literally pick me up and take me to the washroom. And that day I realized, everything is leveled in the eyes of God, and never have the kind of ego. Everything leveled down. If your body is not fit, nothing in this world can help you out.
Yeah.
So that was a real tough time. I went through chemo for 4 months. And the time you met me in the pageant, it was just like 6 to 8 months before I'd finished my chemo. So within the 6 to 8 months, I just got back on my feet. I said, done, ho gaya hai chemo, nothing. They kept checking my tumor, the ratio, whether it has grown or it has just stayed. So it was quite fine. And I had these steroids also supporting me for no side effects. So I'd become like this plump, and I just couldn't look at myself in the mirror. I said, oh, is that you who used to flaunt that, I can run 10 kilometers, do push-ups? And then I realized that, oh, your body is your temple. What they teach you as a child, we ignore it so much. Your body is your temple.
Yeah. Classic old saying, health is wealth.
Health is wealth, yes.
It's everything.
We just ignored it, or
Yeah.
probably in school we used to write it on the blackboard
Yes,
over there.
without even knowing what you were writing.
Absolutely.
So you were forced to surrender to your circumstance. And when I say surrender to it, I also mean have faith in yourself, in the divine, in life. It was forced upon you.
I was told that within 2 cycles, your tumor will go down. I had 6 cycles. After the 3rd cycle, I just gave up. I told my oncologist, sir, even if you give me 10 cycles after this, I'm ready. I literally surrendered. Earlier, I was resisting. I was telling my mom, if this thing doesn't end, I'm taking a flight back. I don't want to stay there. I'll run away from the hospital. I told her all the possible things. I have broken things at my home in anger.
Yeah, it
Broken.
is a... I would be very angry if I was enforced with a situation like that, but I don't know if I'm going to live or die. Or I am struggling through health and I can't even go to the washroom.
And what actually brought me down was seeing other patients over there, especially the children suffering from cancer. It was non-cancerous for me. But when I looked at them, when I saw those mothers with their infants, I was like, Rajita, you're not taking even 1% of it. So don't be so, too much about it. Nothing is happening. They are suffering much more. And I still remember one incident that during the same time, I had gone to drop my husband at the airport, and I was just saying him goodbye. I saw another lady there. Probably she was bald and she was wearing that kind of the
Scarf around her
scarf
head.
around her hair. I know what I told my husband. Oh, she's like me. And then I realized that I had started counting myself within those people, that yes, they are like a part of me. We all are going through it together. And then I realized nothing doing, just surrender yourself. I told him, please give me 10 more chemos. I am okay as long as this thing ends. And then it was just tackling the pain rather than tackling my mental state.
So when you gave into life, did it help you emotionally?
Emotionally, it did, but not full 100%, to be very honest, because again, I said I'm so headstrong. I want to always get back on my feet. But yes, surrendering did help my healing faster. Probably I was resisting it, thinking that, I am strong. This is what not is not supposed to happen to me. I used to resist. Mentally, I used to keep resisting. कुछ नहीं होता, मैं खड़ी रहूंगी. My brother is like, please don't try all these stunts. Sit down. Because even in the hospital, I said, I'll stand. He's like, sit down. Even if there's no space, I'll make space for you. You need to sit down. So, kind of being adamant at certain places doesn't help.
Yeah.
You need to surrender. And that is the time, life shows you that you need to humble down somewhere.
Yeah, there is a power that's larger than you.
Yes, absolutely. There is. And it did end. I started getting back to gym. Again, a crazy person. I want to get back in shape and all. I started going back to the gym in, I think, October or November. And I was in the pageant by June. I had dropped down my weight completely, started lifting again. Or I do a lot of strength training. And then I was like, okay, I'm back in the game. But again, that didn't last for long, as you know.
Do you think that your body was trying to tell you something when it manifested the tumor?
It did. I would say medically it did. It gave me certain signs and I ignored it. I literally ignored it because that was first time I thought I'm pregnant. So this is what is normal. But and I told my mother, she's like, this is not what happens, Prajakta. This is something abnormal, having such kind of excessive acidity and all.
Yeah.
That used to happen to me. So medically, I would say my body did give me signs that
It
something
did warn
is
you.
wrong. Yes, but sometimes we just tend to ignore it.
Yeah.
I think your subconscious mind knows
It
each and
always
everything.
knows.
It always knows.
Yeah. So there was a time when you were going through this and then you battled it. What did this victory give you? And what did this victory take away from you?
It actually humbled me down, to be very honest, and just told me that, your body is your temple. And it took away, I think, the time of my life. But today, when I look back, Sohini, I feel that's required. If not, then I wouldn't have been a much better person today. I was so proud of myself that I'm able to run, I'm able to do this and that. But I feel if that didn't happen in my life, I wouldn't have humbled down.
So this humility is your strength today.
Yes.
Wow.
It is. It is.
How amazing is that, right?
And moreover, after post which also what happened and what I am today, the softer I'm speaking now is because of the episode that happened last year when I lost my son. So this is why I am, my social circle got a little smaller, and I knew, I believed in this, that we all have a journey to take. I'm born on a certain date. I am supposed to go on that date. And that's pre-decided, how much ever we struggle to not accept it. And this is a journey everybody has to take. And I knew that, but I was not ready to accept when he passed away.
Yeah.
And later on, recently, I should say, that I came up to terms with it that it's no one's fault. This was pre-decided. He had a shortest life.
Life gifted you motherhood and life took it away from you before you even fully experienced it. And I don't know, even when I use words like grief and pain and void, they just feel so insignificant. Because to lose your child, I think, is one of the most painful experiences one can go through, Prajakta. And thank you for sharing this with us. Thank you for creating a space for other parents who are suffering and don't know how to get past this level of pain where you feel like your whole life has come to an end when you lose your child, and you're sitting here and so courageously speaking about your experience. So thank you again for this. How was it for you? How did you come out of that end? You come to an end. I don't even have words right now to express what I'm feeling, what I want to say to you, but you reached the end when you lost your child. So how did you come out of that?
Um, I don't know whether I'll be able to express this totally here. But I'll
Only
tell
what you're
you,
comfortable.
yeah, but I'll tell you what. So when I was in the pageant, I was really enjoying and things like that. And I carried him by the end of the year. And honestly, I was not ready with so many changes that happen in your body. They are beautiful as well as at times they're very painful also. I didn't have a very
Yeah.
comfortable pregnancy, considering the age and the history that of tumor that I had.
Yes.
According to the doctors, what I feel, yes, I was ready. But when you see those changes from being that slim girl with a completely flat waist, and all of a sudden your belly is growing and there are a lot of different things happening, morning sickness and all. Initially, I wasn't ready. I mean, it was quite new for me. But yeah, slowly and steadily, I started enjoying that things happen. Uh, One thing, I think my birthdays will never be the same again, ever in my life. He was born a day before my birthday. He was born on 25th August. I'm on 26th August. And I think that's the connect and that's the manifestation I did, because I would always tell my gynecologist that, can we plan my surgery during this time? So she's like, that's not possible unless and until he's ready to come, or he or she's ready to come then. But then somehow it happened that he was born on a day before my birthday. And I'm really grateful to him that he chose that day. So it'll stay with me always. I may never celebrate my birthday the way I used to. I'm very crazy for these birthdays, things and that. As a child, I used to go running telling everyone, tomorrow is my birthday, tomorrow is my birthday, so that, I get gifts. So it'll never be the same, but it's like a bond. It is there with me forever. It will stay till the time I take my last breath. He passed away due to some complications, and that day I didn't cry, Sohini. I just couldn't. I took him. Okay, I won't be able to speak about much about that, but yes, I didn't cry that day. I don't know how. It didn't just come.
Were
Tears
you
didn't come.
shocked?
No, I was not in shock. I just accepted it. The doctor made me sit down along with my husband. He said he doesn't have a heartbeat. I said okay. I just said okay to her, and I moved. I said, can I see him? She's like, yeah, you may go and check him. I said, "Fine." I saw him. I kissed him a goodbye. And then after some hours, we had him at home. And I made it a point to show him to all my pets, because they have been with me through my entire journey of pregnancy. They were with me
They're
throughout.
also your children.
Yes, they are. He was the sixth one in my life, if I should say. I had first 5 dogs. So they were the ones to see him first. And I don't know how to put it forward, but as you rightly said, losing your child is the biggest thing, because that's something that has come out of you. That's
Yeah.
your own.
It's you.
Like, you say you made it from scratch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I made it from scratch and I'm really, really proud of it. But yes, his time was limited. He left me, or he left us. And I want to tell it to all the mothers here. I'll tell you, when he passed away, what the strength I had was only from my motherhood. That day I wasn't an army officer. I wasn't a wife, a daughter, or somebody's student, child, nothing. I was just a mother.
Just his mother.
Just his mother, who was grieving and who was trying to cope up with the loss. And that just stayed with me. I never wanted that conventional thing that people come home and, try to console you. I really didn't want that. That was more scary for me. So I traveled. I went to Kenya with my husband. Trust me, I traveled till I could get numb. Me and my husband, we went to Kenya. And most of the times I feel people just look at the mother they just forget the
Father.
father as well.
Yeah.
So we both never wanted that. And I think we feel closest to the nature and animals. So we chose Kenya. We went around 5 national parks in Kenya. And after every safari, when things would end, at the end of the day, I would again start missing him. And we again would go in that kind of a phase. But that continued. We came back. That's not going to stay forever. You stay in another country. You need to get back to work. My husband had to get back
You
to
have
work.
to eventually face what is, right?
Yes. I rather face the world or face life. So I came back, and my worst fear was over here. When such things happen, sometimes blame game starts. It really starts, why such thing has happened in your life and all. I never wanted that thing to come up between me and my husband. That was my worst fear, that me and my husband would, distant from each other, would get distant. I would never want that, and he would also never want that. So I made it a point that whatever, we may get angry about during that phase, not on his topic, but whatever we would get angry upon, we would not let that hamper our relationship. Because that was my worst fear, Sohini, that if he gets off or he moves away from me, distances himself, I wouldn't tolerate that, because that would bring a big crack in our relationship, which I never wanted. So we started, healing together, we would not go out. I hated going out in the night in the city, because every night when he would fall more ill and the doctors would call us, it was that same night. So it became like a memory, like, that thing would just go in my head that nights are bad. So I would not go out, we would stay at home. We would watch all sort of comedy movies of the 90s. I at night would watch daily soaps. I kept on watching again till my tears could dry. I just focused on myself. You know why? Because there was a time, um, when everyone goes out to sleep, your family will be there with you, your spouse will be there with you, but this inner healing has to be done by you itself.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to be with you 24/7, and nobody can. It's practically impossible.
You're only left with you.
Yes. You're born in this world, you will die alone, you're born alone. Khali haath aaye ho, khali haath jayenge, but people say it's so true.
Yeah.
You have to heal on your own. And it once did happen with me. I went so much in pain that 3 consecutive days after my husband would fall asleep, I would go inside the washroom and cry. Cry till my eyes would turn red and I would get swollen up, and sleep the entire day till afternoon 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. He would not wake me up, considering that she needs a lot of sleep. And on the third day, this struck me. Aise life nahi chalegi. I looked at few pictures of mine in my uniform, especially because trust me, the only thing what I hold very close to my heart is my profession. That's my pride. That's my identity. Even if people say, you moved out of the army, the rank doesn't stay with me or whatever. Whatever I am today is made. What I am is because of Indian Army.
Yeah.
It is because of that.
You'll always be Major Prajakta.
Even if I'm not in uniform or whatever, that's something what made me what I am today, or made me survive in this world. Gave a good life to my family. So I owe my entire success to the organization. And when I looked back at those pictures, I realized this is what you are. You have come through so much. You suffered that chemo, you had seen financial crisis, everything. You kept moving ahead. Why now? Now you cannot put yourself back. I said, just get up. Because Sohini, grief is so bad. At days, I would get up and try doing something. I love to spend time with my pets and my plants. I would go pruning some plants, plant something, some saplings. I would do such kind of things, try to watch TV. And that day would be productive, like a productive
Yeah,
day.
no.
But next day, I wouldn't get up from my bed. Getting up from my bed was painful. I would not cry, but just keep sleeping, look at the window or look at the ceiling, and that's how. And once,
What do you get up for?
Yeah,
Was that
there
your
was-
thought?
I had no purpose in my life, I felt. Because I left my career for my son. And I had no regrets still. No regrets till date that I left a high paying job. I left hunting for more jobs. Where I got also, I couldn't join. It's fine. I left everything for him, but he left us. That was his journey. We are not going to blame anyone. I had nothing in life to look forward to. So I wouldn't get up from my bed. Then I realized ऐसे life नहीं चलेगी, life बहुत है आगे. And if you do this, you will even hamper the future of your husband, of your future family, of your pets, of your parents, everybody. You are like an anchor, so don't do that. So I got up, I began with movies. My favorite Hindi movie, Welcome. It's so funny. Trust me, I can watch it like 100 times, and I kept watching all kind of movies. Welcome, Three Idiots ho gaya, purani 90s ki movie, some English movie, P.S. I Love You, and whatnot, Interstellar. I kept watching them, kept watching them.
You made a conscious choice to introduce lightness. And when I mean lightness, I mean lightweight into the heaviness that you were experiencing, right? So it's so important to make these conscious, intended choices to heal. You said two very beautiful things that I'm taking home, and I wish our listeners also take home. One is that you and your husband both lost a child, and y'all became one to heal. Y'all didn't heal individually. Y'all healed as a unit.
Yes.
Y'all healed as one, and that brings in a lot of strength. And two, which I have personally experienced myself, is that grief leaves a void, but that void is a cord that connects you to who you've lost. So it's full of that person. It's not empty. It's full. Right?
Yeah, there's a beautiful page on Instagram. I don't know who runs it. Grieving Moms. So I started following that, and whenever I get some post, I feel so nice just reading those kind of quotes that they put in, like grieving moms, and I just loved it. And I said, okay, this is what I can just keep seeing the post or liking or just feeling about it, and
Yeah.
that has also helped me. And even certain songs, especially by Coldplay, I would hear them and I would miss him, but I was like, you have to honor the person who's gone.
Yes.
It should not be a bad memory. It, of course, it pains you to the extent, but it cannot be linked with something that is bad. Even if you had the worst of the worst traumas, I have to honor my son, and I've honored him, and I'll continue honoring him. Some people feel that you should not talk about it much. I said, hell no. If people ask me, oh, do you have babies? You don't have a child? I said, no. I had a son. He's no more. I had him. I cannot let go of his existence. Even if the entire world or some people, some in my life as well, people feel that baat nahi karni chahiye. No. I will honor him. He was my son. He was our first child, me and my husband's, and we are going to honor him. And we started beautifully doing everything, what we planned when he would, and he would come and we would take him as a 6-month-old baby and we would do things. We did everything. So whenever we sit as a, we have this kind of a Sunday ritual where on Sundays, along with my pets, we will go out on a walk and, stay in some kind of a garden for a long time, let them play and get back. So I always knew if I had my son would also accompany. So we have continued doing everything till date. What was planned for him, he's with us in spirit, I feel, not as a whole person. He's with us in spirit. And for me, I said it's a beautiful connection. He's there, out there. Maybe he's right now here also listening to his mother speak about it. And that's how, I took my life forward. And I was seeking help from someone, as I told you offline, because I felt, that my identity and my child, both the things were lost at once.
Yeah.
So I started taking help from someone, and ma'am happened to tell me, like, just imagine you are in a room. The room is completely full of smoke, and now the smoke is clearing out because you're healing. And once the smoke clears out, you can look out of the window and see how beautiful the world is. So while I cried and I spoke to her, I said, ma'am, you know what kind of personality I am? I would not go to the window. I'll break the door ram open. I'll move out of the room in such a situation when I have got the strength. I will move out and see the world. I'll experience the world, in my body, in my breath, in my veins. I'm not a person who will just do peeping from the window. See, metaphorically, she was speaking
Yes,
on it.
yes.
I said, I'll break the goddamn door and move out.
There comes the shapeshifter.
Yeah. And I was like, yes. So I did that. When I was discussing also with my husband yesterday about the podcast, I said, I would require your permission if I'm speaking about him. He's like, I'm all with you. I said, yeah, but I know what I'm supposed to speak and what not. But probably if I share this journey that grief is something which will never go, it always comes unannounced. Always. Right now, also, you saw that. But it will stay with you. And as you rightly said, it's like a cord.
It's the cord.
It helps you honor your loved ones. And I always tell my son, because one of my dog passed away. She was my soul mate and my soul child. So I always tell him that I know you and Bella. Bella was her name. Bella, and you are around, looking at us, guiding us, and forever being with us. So they're always with us. So I'm really now in a much better place than I could have been.
Yeah.
And I became a better human, I feel. I started accepting things which I wouldn't do earlier. I got much calmer and much better person, I feel. I
Yeah.
think my dogs were the first ones who shaped me in life, and then is my son. For both of us, me and my husband.
Yeah. I don't know how much strength it's taken you to share this. And I'm sure a lot of mothers and fathers out there would be so grateful to you to come out here and share such a painful truth that you have experienced and be so vulnerable in front of a huge audience. Prajakta, I see you as someone who's grown over your grief and you have faced your grief. You have not negated it. You have not pushed it under the carpet. You did everything it took, from stepping away from it when you needed to, by taking that holiday when it was too much, to coming back to it, to doing the crying that was required, to sleeping as much as you needed to taking the decision to pick up from it now, to then considering everyone around you who was also grieving with you, to eventually growing around the grief and still keeping that connection. And that takes one hell of a woman. Heaven of a woman, I mean, how amazing. How does it feel? I'm asking you again. How does it feel to hold this kind of power within you? I know I asked you this earlier, but I want to ask you again because there's so much more to you than what you've just said.
I think at the end of the day, surrender but never give up. So I think I surrendered to the situation, the life that offered me that kind of a pain, but I never gave up. And trust me, Sohini, getting back on stage, especially with what I do as my profession right now, speaking, motivating people. I'm a military leadership coach, I'm a motivational speaker, and a person who's gone through that grief at one point, who sat in that washroom for 3 days, every night and cry, to getting up on back on stage and coming back on camera speaking. Definitely was difficult, but I thought, okay, life hai, aage chalni hai. As I said, surrender, but never give up. I again started working. I think he passed away in September. I began my work back in December. I said, no, get back in the game.
Yeah.
You need to, start working again. If you want to have some sanity in your life, you need to. And whenever I miss him, I write something, I journal something. I wrote a beautiful poem when he would have been 6 months by then. So when I had uploaded it on my Instagram also, I have done that. I keep recording certain videos when I miss him. I want to talk about him. I do all that. I mean, I've realized that it's bad to keep everything inside of
Yeah.
you. It'll make you die within. It's better you speak out. If you cannot speak out to yourself today, you can, record videos. You can write about it. There's so many ways. If you have decided to get a hold of your life again, you can. It's
Yeah.
very difficult, especially for a mother. It's very difficult considering the hormonal changes that you've gone through, what your body has taken. Because as I said, even after chemo, I got back on my toes like within 3 months. I was back
Yeah.
in the gym. It's almost a year it's since birth. Next month would be his birthday. It's almost a year, but still I was not able to cope up physically because of all the grief, I can also say, but because of all the limitation that your body offers you after a delivery.
Yes.
So I said, you have to get up. And I think this should be a lesson for everyone in life. The students who are studying today, college people, and even the elders. Life is very long. Even if sometimes people say life is short. Life लंबी भी उतनी ही है. अगर वो इतनी painful हो जाए तो बहुत ही लंबी हो जाती है. So you need to get up. You need to start. You need to start somewhere or the other. A small step a day will also do. Like today, I would say, okay, today I get up and those 2 saplings which are sitting in that corner, I'll plant them today. I'll make a kind of a good soil mix. These were my things to overcome my grief. What a good soil mix is. Okay, I'll see it on internet and I would do that. I would play with that soil. I mean, sounds very weird to some, but these were the things that made me overcome my grief.
That's life.
I would lie down on my terrace with my plants, with my dogs. For hours and hours, I would just look up in the sky and just feel, okay, I'm healing.
Yeah. You went
Anything
back to
possible.
life. No, plants are life.
Yes.
They are life. They
Yes.
hold the
Yes.
energy
Some
of
people
life.
understand it. Some people are really like, ye kya pagalpan hai? It's like, no, but you have to find your way, I think,
Yeah.
to come out of it. Some people find it some differently.
Yeah.
Some find it
Yeah,
differently. So.
yeah. And you found the ability to move on with life and be accepting and inclusive of the grief. It's here with us at this moment. But here you are still doing what you need to do. Accepting of it, accepting of yourself. You're honoring him, you're honoring yourself, honored your husband, and you're honoring life as a whole.
Yes.
And that is so beautiful, Prajakta. What a beautiful learning you've taken from him.
Yes.
Wow. Your husband has played a vital role in your life. He's come up many, many times through this conversation. What is your love story?
Oh, wow. I would love to speak about him. I would love to speak about him. This guy wrote me 23 letters in 1.5 years.
Wow.
And the letters used to come to my academy. I have spoken about that on many of my podcasts. And I wrote 2 letters, out of which I couriered only 1.
Where's the second one now?
The second one, I don't know where. All our letters are lying somewhere. He has read it.
Okay.
But that's what I'm saying. His dedication towards the relationship was much more stronger than what I could have. I mean, if I am the anchor of my family, he's the anchor of our family. Everything is like, if he is not there, I don't know what will I do. So
God bless
he's
you all.
he's
That's
everything
so
for me. And
sweet.
even during my pregnancy, my ups and downs, my illness, he's always been there. Always.
Every strong love story has something that they had to fight against and surpassed. In your case, was it long distance?
Very much. Married in 2014. We started living together in 2020. 6 years we were away from each other.
After being married?
Yes. Our postings were at 2 different ends of our country. And we would meet at least twice a year.
What did long distance teach you about self-identity? Because you can't sustain a long distance relationship without being rooted within your own self. What did it teach you about playing as a team? And what did it teach you about commitment?
So, you know what? I always feel that there's a need for us in a relationship to communicate. You have to have the conversation. You have to have the hard talk as well. Setting standards for both of them. If my husband feels that this time he has a course and he has to attend it, I would have to be open. Okay, he's not coming for a holiday. He's not coming on leave. We are going to postpone it. He has to address his career right now. And that is both ways. So,
I love the way you framed it. Setting standards.
yes. At home, front, office, society, everywhere. Should have your
Amazing.
standards set.
Absolutely. I think that's the key. You know, just making sure your standards
Yes.
are on point.
Yes. And then only I think your relationship works. Because if you have any ambiguity, then the fights will obviously begin. If you keep ambiguity in anything, not only relationships, if there is no clarity in like the decision is given, then things do not work well.
So when you set standards for yourself, it's based on your own self-identity. The opposite person then knows exactly how to team play, right?
Yes, how to treat
Because-
you as well.
Yes, how to treat you. Then he will teach you how to treat him.
Yes, yes.
That's where communication comes in. So team playing comes in,
team playing. Yes.
which then automatically fuels commitment,
True, true.
right? Wow.
And when both your aspirations are met, you know, at times it is 19-20, thoda up down hoga. But when both your aspirations are met, and I feel everything is possible, everything has a solution. Sometimes I feel people just keep saying, शादी हो गई, ये नहीं हो सकता, वो नहीं, it's all crap from me. Everything is possible. यार, इस दुनिया में हर एक चीज का solution है. You just need to ask, speak, and you know, work on it.
Yeah. So Prajakta, you have been through this vast journey of cancellation to crowning at different stages. From the time you were bullied as a kid, which we spoke off camera and on camera, where you didn't have friends, to choosing to shapeshift into all these different versions that you have chosen to become and break out of the box, to dealing with a severe health issue, to surpassing a long distance relationship and being so strong today in your marriage, to dealing with such grave levels of grief and still healing through it and talking about it while you're healing. And that for me is incredible resilience and strength. That makes you the true queen you are. You are like wearing this big Kohinoor on your head right now, in your heart and in your soul. And you have, with such beauty and grace, shared everything with us, unfiltered. And for that, I'm so grateful.
Thank you.
But I'm not going to let you go till you give a gift to our listeners. Let's give them a Prajakta anchor. Something that they get to hold on to when they are struggling with life.
I would just say one statement, and I think that should be engraved in everybody's head, is giving up is not in the blood. You are not going to give up whatever life may throw at you. Life is brutal, it's unfair at times, but yes, that's how we are supposed to live. There are certain things written for us. You know, what's written for you will come. But to get that thing, you must go towards it. I cannot sit in my Maruti 800 and have dreams of Audi. उससे बाहर निकलना पड़ेगा और ऑडी के पास जाना पड़ेगा, तब आपकी ऑडी आपके पास आएगी. So it's always that you have to make the first step towards it. Break the inertia, start moving ahead. And you know, even if the path seems rough, at least start running, walking. Slowly it will either smoothen out or you will get used to it.
Yeah.
And you will reach your destination.
So keep moving, keep moving,
moving,
keep
keep
moving,
moving.
keep moving.
So a couple of months back, I had written this kind of quote, and I would like to end with that life doesn't have a drafted script. Still, you have to make your own movie worth watching a million times.
Wow. Be the director of your own life.
Yes, yes.
You know, when I saw you at the pageant, I remember looking at you, so petite, so beautiful. Your walk, I still remember, so gracious. And I thought in my head that she's one person who's definitely has magic in her. That was the first word that came to my head.
Thank you.
And today, you have given me the opportunity to experience your magic by having this one-on-one chat with you and sharing it with the world. So Prajakta, we have a ritual in every episode where this is a self-love card, and we hope to create a circle of self-love, and it encourages you to do an act of self-love and pass it on to the next person and encourage them to do an act of self-love.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So please go ahead and do something that you absolutely love. And remember us when you do it.
Absolutely, yes. That will be definitely rescuing another pup.
Wow.
Yeah, I would be doing that.
Wow. See, that makes me feel so good. Also, we have a little gift for you. it is our gesture of honoring your crowning glory.
Thank you so much, Sohini.
So thank you again for coming to Cancel to Crown with Sohini and giving all of us a pathway to owning our own crown. Thank you, Prajakta.
Thank you so much, Sohini. Thank you.